So I open up my program today, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a squat day. What is going to be on the program for today? And I look at the program, and I'm like, oh, 485? That's not too bad. This isn't going to be that hard of a day. Now, those are famous last words, right? Anytime you see something that's too low, you know that you're going to die. Something's going to unalive you, and you're going to feel very small, inadequate, weak. So then I scroll over, and I see the rep scheme, 3x8, 485. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a power lifter, which means counting past 3 is not on my resume. So counting to 8 in a single set, the old adage, anything above 3 reps is cardio. But my coach has me do other kinds of cardio. So allegedly this won't be that bad. Anytime you say it won't be that bad, it's going to be that bad. I keep falling into this trap. It's not going to be that bad. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be awful. I'm going to die. So we've got a 4x8, 485 on squats, and I'm not going to die. There's no way to properly say that it's going to suck, but I'm going to bite the pillow and let it go in raw. That just sounded... Anyways, I'm cooking my breakfast. I've got 185 grams of 93.7 beef. I've got 3 eggs, and I amended my situation from yesterday, and I picked up some ketchup, because eggs on its own, it's all right. I mean, you might need a little salt, a little pepper, and some ketchup for personality. But you throw in plain ground beef that has salt and pepper in it, the salt and pepper is not going to do anything. You need that ketchup or salsa to make your life worth living. So, no, you weren't just begging for food. You got caught in 4K. Oh yeah, let's get that money show for you. Oh yeah. I just want to say, how adorable is this? The only thing is, Buddy did not ask that Zelda wanted him to be cuddling her. But he decided everyone loves cuddling. Zelda loves cuddling. Right, Zelda? She does not like this cuddling. Oh, he's in a bagel bite. Oh, he's bagel mode. Yeah. But she's kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. Because so Zelda, when she was younger, she used to do this exact same thing. And now that the turntables have turned, I don't know how she feels about it. Except she used to be on top of our old dog Zeus, who passed away a couple years ago. Now Buddy's at least having a little room for Jesus. It makes you think. Dogs, so full of love. And then we have 46.9 grams of honey and 2 bagels. Because if I don't eat these, my metabolism is too fast and my body can't keep up with the carb intake to keep me from getting dizzy, especially on this training day, because it's a high it's not high volume, it's a down undulation, but it's a high rep. So there's a lot of extra metabolic processes going on that utilize more energy. It's time under tension, and your body uses energy to make sure that you don't pass out when you're doing time under tension work. So we're doing that. Cool beans. Oh, gee willikers, that sky looks so beautiful. Looks like a fake green screen. But I'm out here with my little guy. Hey, you know better. He's a little grumpy today. We're trying to... So, the past couple days, I'm trying to get his oral hygiene better. Because the other day, he had a bit of a toy stuck in his teeth. And I freaked out that he was going to have to get a tooth pulled. So, we're teaching him how to get his teeth brushed, which he does not like. And so he's a little grumpy right now. I didn't just brush his teeth. I like to do that right before bed, kind of get a bedtime ritual going for him. Because that's when I brush his teeth and then I brush my teeth. Show him that we both do it. But I'm off to a late start today. I was getting off to a normal start, but one of my landlords went to work and took the other landlord's keys with her. So I had to drive my landlord about half an hour up the road through one toll highway, whatever, like 20 miles. And at least he bought me some Dunkin' coffee. So he wasn't very happy. He was very grumpy. But I helped him get his keys so he could do all the other landlordy things, because they're prepping to sell one of their other properties. And they said if I can help anyway, buddy, sit, to hop out over there. Yep. And help them prep it for getting sold. So I'm not going to be able to do that today because Buddy's other human has MMA training. So we're off to a late start. We've got the kind of down undulation in load for the squat training today. So I might be able to get out in time for her to get the car so she can go to MMA training, which is like 45 minutes away. So I'm gonna have her drop me off at the gym, and if she can't make it back because she has to go do the MMA training before I'm done squatting, because it's a squat day and compound movement days take a little longer because I go a little heavier. So I might have to walk it's usually an 8-minute drive. I might have to walk that home. So that's what we're anticipating today. I'll probably have to bring some sunscreen because I make paper look white. And look at my face, it's already a little sunburned from these 45-minute daily walks with Buddy. And like, I like to get the hard part of them out of the way first. So it's like the first quarter is all uphill. So that's why I'm breathing heavy. But look at that. Look how much slack Bud has on his leash. He walks way better when he's alone with me than he does when he's with both me and his other human. So it's a little thing to think about, that if your dog has two parents, you gotta kind of recognize which one the dog does certain things with, because Buddy's other human's actually a dog groomer, and some pet parents aren't allowed to drop their dogs off. It has to be the other pet parent, because otherwise they freak out. Buddy, sit. See? Happy little guy. Yep. But I'm gonna finish off this walk. Gee willikers, I'm already sweating. So I can hopefully get my pre-training meal in an expeditious manner. I'm back on the Fruity Pebbles. I learned my lesson. So, I got something in my crock. Buddy, sit. Something's in my crock, bud. Look at this little guy. Yo, you having a good time, bud? He's having a good time. And I like how much slack there is on this leash. Like, I could almost, see, he's off leash. But he's good like that for now. But you don't want to, no leash pressure. He's such a good boy. But even if your dog is good like this, where you've got no leash pressure, you still want to have complete control of your dog. So if your dog is good off leash, you still want them on leash, because it's kind of like why you've got an e-brake in your car. Your brakes work, but sometimes you need an e-brake to make sure that things don't go wrong. So always keep your dogs leashed when out and about. And Buddy's other human has heard of, Buddy, sit. multiple, over 3 clients' dogs getting killed by dogs on walks, getting rushed by other dogs that were off leash. So keep your dog on your leash, even if they're such a good boy like this. Anyways, I'm breathing heavy, I'm sweating, heart rate's going. I mean, not really, but we're in a good zone. So I'll see you guys with my next meal. This is going to be a real quick check-in because I don't want my cereal to get soggy and inedible. I got 205 grams of Fruity Pebbles, 16 ounces of Fairlife fat-free milk, and we're watching Quintessential Quintuplet. Yeah, buddy. It's creamin' time. I miss the old Fantastic Four movies. Alright, so we're on our way to the gym. It is so hot in the car that my in-car thermometer that I bought from Walmart for like 10 bucks is maxed out and not working. So that's how hot it is in this car. It's supposed to get up to 89 today. It is 89 outside. Okay, never mind. But so we're on our way to the gym and it's about 1:30, so I got pushed back a couple hours by the landlord fiasco this morning, and I'm behind on schedule. Usually I want to be at the gym by like 10:30 or 11:30, and if I'm late it's 12:30. So the buddy's other human has training that she has to leave home at 3:30. I told her, drive me to the gym, drop me off, and go. She said no. And she was like, just be back for 3:30. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. That will not happen. I'm not going to be back for 3:30. That's not going to happen. She's like, just, I'll do this then, and explained something else. And I'm like, okay. So there's powerlifting isn't a super it's a super popular sport, but there's no money in it. So the moniker professional powerlifter is a little different than any other professional sport out there, where yes, there are professional powerlifters, but we don't make money. Technically, I am a professional powerlifter, but I make no money. I make $0. The only time I've ever won anything was at the Ghost Clash 3, where I won a bar. Zero monetary value. Did not pay for anything. It did not pay the bills. It's just a bar with a Cerakote coating that I have to buy a new brush for, so that the coating doesn't get chipped and whatnot. Special care. And one of the things that my coach, Joe Sullivan, says is, you are a professional if you want to be a professional powerlifter, you have to act like a professional athlete, which means no skipping training sessions, eat with the program, do your cardio, don't skip out on things because you're just, you know? And, I mean, DK Metcalf kind of came out that he just eats candy all day. But, there's professional athletes now, there's so many rules protecting them from injury that they can kind of get away with, like, just basic genetic athletic ability and know-how of the sport, but not. Now, MMA has a lot of money in it. There's a lot of money in it. And Buddy's other human wants to be a professional MMA fighter. Hasn't done his first fight yet. And I'm like, okay. Anytime that she says something, she says, I'm going to be a professional athlete, this. And I'm like, that's not what a professional athlete does. It's like the words and the actions don't line up. And I have a difficult time explaining to her, you want to be a professional athlete, act like a professional. No more drinking, no more smoking, no more skipping training sessions. If you have to train, that is your priority. There's a reason neither of us have kids. It's because we don't want to have to care for someone else. Being a professional athlete is selfish. But also I know that I'd be a terrible parent. But I'm like, make sure your actions line up with your words. Because if you want to be a professional athlete, most of the MMA fighters out there right now. Like, what's his name? Khabib. He went viral as a kid for fighting bears when he was like 9 years old. Like, these kids, these professional athletes haven't missed a training session since they were in Pampers. But, yeah. It's difficult conversations to have with people because it's calling them out on their bullshit. It's very hard to have. And, like, it's hard to sound humble and have humility when it's, hey, I am a professional athlete. If you want to be a professional athlete, you have to listen to me and do as I do. Do as I say. Don't make excuses. So I said, hey, you want to be a professional athlete, you take my car, you drop me off at the gym, I'll do my training session. If I'm out in time for you to pick me up and I don't have to walk home, that's cool. If I'm not out in time and you have to leave for training, go do that and I'll walk home. It's like that's the length I personally am willing to go in order to make sure I get my training in. That's the length that I'm personally willing to go in order to achieve my goals. If I can't drive to the gym, I'm going to walk to the gym. I've done it countless times, starting back when I was, 16. I visited my brother in Rochester, New York. I didn't have a car. I didn't even have a gym membership. I walked to a Gold's Gym that was like 3 miles away while he was at work, because I don't know why I was in Rochester. My parents were like, oh, you're on spring break, go do this. And I was like, okay, I'll use a free week of gym membership at Gold's Gym, yay. And then they were like, you're not 18. You can't sign up without a parent's permission. I'm like, homie, I know more than you. I'm stronger than you. But those are the lengths I'm willing to go. Those are the lengths a professional athlete is willing to go in order to achieve their goal, achieve the bare minimum to hit their goals. But what do I know? Powerlifting isn't a real sport. So we're not real professional athletes. So I just got to the gym. I was actually only a 6-minute drive to the gym. Yay for me. I'm gonna open up the windows of my car. It's supposed to thunderstorm later today, so I'm a little nervous. That it's gonna rain in here. But we Gucci. I'm gonna start training. Bye. So you know how when I was driving in, I said there's no way in hell that I'm gonna be able to warm up, do my training, and get home for 3:30, because it was 1:30, and like it's a compound movement day, and 2 hours is not enough time to do a compound movement day. But I've been a little more strict with. I've always been strict with my time into rest period, time between sets, but not super strict with my time between exercises. But more recently, I've been kind of doing tap and go with those, where it's like I'm done with one, I strip the bar, and I'm on to the next one within the next 90 seconds of completion of stripping a bar, if I'm stripping a bar, or putting a dumbbell away. Like I'll do a lap around the gym, and then I'm like, zoop, I'm into it. So it is currently 3:12, which means, boys, we did it. We don't have to walk home, and I will absolutely not, under any circumstance, allude to having been incorrect in the assessment or admission that Buddy's other human was right on the money with the assessment of how long it would take me. Because I honestly think she was looking for an excuse not to go, but that's beside the point. We made it. But so let's go through training. So we warmed up with single leg roller coasters. Those kind of tap into your neural connection with your brain, your balance, and your ability to stay centered. Right. Superset that with lat prayers. So kind of straight arm. It's almost like a straight arm tricep push down, but with your arms straight, you kind of skip the entirety of your arms and go straight to your lats. And doing sets of 10 of those, sets of 5 per leg of the roller coasters. Then we did goblet squat holds. It's supposed to be 10 to 15 seconds, And I know that I count fast in my head, so I count 20 seconds in my head, and I don't know how long it actually ended up being. Could just be 10 seconds, but I'm not gonna throw my Fitbit into timer mode just for those. And it was supposed to be 60 seconds rest, but it's not a fatiguing, it's not a strenuous thing. It's mostly just stretching the quads and the patella in order to make sure that I'm good and ready to do squats. And then we squatted, and I thought about skipping my 4-plate warm-up, but I didn't. I actually took the 4-plate warm-up, and I actually warmed up everything. The bar, 1-plate, 2-plate, 3-plate, 4-plate, with 8 reps. And usually if I'm doing the bar, I'll do 10 reps, but I was like, nah. So anyways, on set 2 and set 3, I lost count of how many reps I had done. And I was like, I don't know if I double counted a single rep or not. So I threw in an extra rep, and it ended up being the correct number of reps. And I was like, oh, okay. But set 3, I was a little like unfocused. Homie showed up to the gym and was walking around and stuff, and like, it's one of those things that you can't really like ask someone not to do, but it's like, it's something you have to be self-conscious or conscious of yourself doing. When someone else is lifting and you pass by their like field of vision, whether it be your peripherals or not. Like if you're trying to scoot by someone's bar, they're going to be conscious of you trying to scoot by your bar, and they're going to shy towards one side subconsciously, and it's going to mess up their bar path and stuff like that. If you walk past them, their eyes are going to drift, their body is going to drift a little bit subconsciously. So it's one of those things where it's like, you can't yell at someone for doing, because they're not doing it on purpose. They're absolutely not doing it on purpose. But it's one of those things where it's like, it does affect you, which is why I don't like squatting in the mono that's closest to the door, because it's by the door. Anytime someone comes in, the eyes go whoop, or the head goes whoop, something like that. So, but I was actually surprised at how good and how easy the 3x8 was. And I didn't have a timed rest period, but I kept it at 4 to 5 minutes of rest period, making sure that I'm still getting some cardio in there, despite coach they're kind of like on the fence with me with the cardio aspect, because I was going hypoglycemic a little bit, because I've got too much muscle mass and my natural metabolism is having a little bit of a issue keeping up with it. And they're not, I don't have a cardio day in training right now because of that, because it's hard for it's hard for me to tell whether or not I'm dizzy because my heart's racing, if I'm dehydrated, or if I'm going hypoglycemic, and you don't want to lean into any of those unless you know which one it is. Then you can lean. If it's because your heart's racing too much, you want to keep it at like a certain level, like within a critical level, not critical, but like 140. You want to keep it between 120 and 140, and keep it like, have some sort of heart rate manipulation when doing your cardio like that. And I did have some of that training in every single block before this, but after the Ghost Clash 3, maybe it's because we're bulking. I don't quite know. But my resting heart rate's a little higher because we're not doing that right now. But the 3x8, 485, pretty easy. And then we jumped immediately after we stripped the bar into contralateral split squats, kind of focusing on being as upright as possible. And I am learning how to properly do this mechanically a little more accurately, because beforehand I was not able to do these whatsoever. My legs were all over the place. I was basically just squatting, but with one leg staggered backwards. Not good. But we're trying to kind of rehab my patellar tendonitis and help me kind of like recover from that and alleviate some of the pressures on my patella, so that I can go forward and squat heavier in training, so it doesn't feel like, because we've changed my form on squats a lot, and adjusting to those adapting to those adjustments is a little difficult right now for me because of the patellar tendonitis. and we want to kind of rehab and prehab that so that it's healthier, so that we don't have as much strain on the patellar tendons through the quad and calves. So we're also training calves on deadlift days, trying to alleviate a lot of that pressure and increase elasticity of those muscle groups so that the patellar tendons can recover and rehydrate and do all that jazz. And so the contralateral split squats, didn't used to be able to do those, and the coach was like, stop being a pussy, and I'm like, okay, fine. So we're doing them, and we're learning, we're progressing, and we're at a much lighter weight than we thought we would be with those, using 10-pound dumbbell singular, because we're very the muscle groups used in that are getting very stressed during training. And then we finished off training with the sit-ups, and we're getting, so those are unique because you can just bang those out, or you can kind of work on an eccentric with that. Kind of remember that accessories are stretching under a load, and right now my load is my upper body, my entire upper body, which is probably like 200 something pounds. I don't know how much my legs weigh, but it's still a lot of leverage to do. I've got a big head, I've got a big fat head, and that, which means that the pivot point is furthest away from my head. I'm getting a lot of strain from my upper body and my head. So we're getting good work on that. And probably moving forward, we're gonna start adding small plates, because it's supposed to be weighted, and we're just finally figuring out how to do them in our gym without straining our lower back, and we're actually feeling it in the core for once. So that's where we're at, that's what we're doing. And I have just arrived home, so I will be passing my car off to Buddy's other human. And coach has me programmed to do meditation to get myself into the parasympathetic nervous system kind of area where the heart rate's lower and your body is better able to accept nutrients from food, and it'll make it a little easier for me to eat for the rest of the day. So that's what we're doing. Let me just close all my windows, and I will be out of there. And yes, I am shirtless. It was very hot today. It's hot. There's a reason that I don't live in like Florida and stuff. It's because it's hot. So I'm going inside. See you guys later. My rice, I forgot to ready my rice, so I mowed my lawn. The lawn. It's not necessarily mine, but I mowed it. So I've been doing Uber Eats for the past about week now, being a driver for them, and I hadn't uploaded my bank information yet. And of course, now that I'm not in my car trying to accept deliveries and I'm trying to update my bank information, they're like, oh, we can't recognize your face in this facial recognition feature, and the one that you've used every single time that you've logged into this app is now not working for you. Please contact customer support. I'm like, you kidding me? Now that I want to actually get paid for the work that I'm doing, you're denying my access to my own account because reasons? Is there any like secondary authentication that you can do? Like, or is it just facial recognition that you can just plug and play and say, oh, when people actually want their money, no. Alright, so I'm thoroughly frustrated with Uber, but I can't let that affect everything else. You can only control what you can control. You can only stress about those things that you can control. And if they're going to be dinguses about it, I'm going to ping them every single day until I get paid for the work that I did. But we've got post-training meal, I guess. We've got 245 grams of chicken breast, 400 grams of white rice, 2 globs of sauerkraut, and yellow mustard. We've got our gallon of water almost fully done for the day. We're watching Quintessential Quintuplets, which I feel like I've seen this show before, but the reverse. And I don't remember the name of the series, but it was more incesty. Like, okay. Premise. Oh my goodness. Buddy. He just hit the window with his bone, and he dropped his bone. Buddy. Okay. Guy's top of his class. Has money problems because his dad something. Has a lot of debt. Gets hired to tutor 5 girls. They're quintuplets. And it's obvious that they're all going to have some sort of love interest with him. It reminds me of, I don't remember the name of the show, but it was girl's parent marries another parent. They end up all living together. One girl, like 5 or something guys, probably more, all older than her. And they all get interested in her. It was like, what are you doing, stepsister? Oh, you know, I'm gonna do this to impress my stepsister. This is my stepsister. It was like, at least this one they're not related, or all the sisters are related. It's so far, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Very memeable. Pretty good. Would suggest it, but I'm only on episode 3, so it's passing the 3-episode test. But I gotta eat my food, and my coach wanted me to be in the parasympathetic nervous response, which means relaxed and kind of focusing on the Uber thing, not really relaxing. So I got my heart rate below 90. I don't know why I decided. It's supposed to rain, thunderstorm today, so I guess that's why I decided to do the lawn, because it was dry enough that I could do it, and it's gonna rain, so I don't have to water it after I've cut it. And Buddy has hit everything on his way to bring his bone over to share with you guys. This is what he does. I just exist. He has a bone. He's a happy guy. But anyways, I'm gonna eat this meal and stop dwelling on things that I have no control over. It just sucks. I just want to point something out real fast. So, I've got my food scale. I got my plain beef reheated in the microwave. Let me zero that out. And I've got my rice, and I'm prepping this next to this shit. Like, what the hell? You got the entire microwave smelled like this. It smelled like ooey gooey butter. And I got these. I got oatmeal raisin. Are they oatmeal raisin? Yeah, oatmeal raisin. Ooey gooey butter. So, like, oh, I also have my guacamole. I don't know why I was struggling to show you the label of that. It's not like it was something important. But eating good is a choice. Not eating good is also a choice. Act like a professional. So, the audiobook narration, I got a verbal offer today, and I've been waiting for the official offer to come in through ACX for a book called Pussy, Pentacles, and Power by Tarika Bell. And I keep getting these voice acting, or not voice acting, but audiobook narration jobs where there's heavy usage of racial slurs. In context, they're not racial slurs. It's just my people are not allowed to say the words that are heavily used. If you get what I'm saying, YouTube would probably not let me say it. But I've been waiting for that official offer to come in through ACX all day, and I'm like, is it in yet? Is it in yet? I want to work immediately on this. It's an hour and 1.2 hours long, approximately. I read fast, so it'll probably be like an hour long. I just want to get working on it like right away so that I can put out a finished product and move on to the next project. Because, I mean, it'll probably be like 4 hours worth of work, maybe 1-2 sessions, 1 or 2 days worth of narration, depending on the pacing of the book. Like the poetry book, it was just, it was physically revolting to record that book because the poetry was just so bad. But the other book that I did, which is under review, and I'm like, come on, author, just finish reviewing it. It's only 9 hours long. I put way more time into that. He probably put way more time into actually writing it, but I don't know if he's actually gotten around to reviewing it because it hasn't been accepted or denied yet, and I'm just waiting for that to come back to see whether or not I have to do any re-records or anything. But I'm basically waiting for him to say, hey, okay, this is good for release, and we're releasing it so that I can start accumulating royalties from it, because it's actually a pretty good book. But this book, I'm like, I've got the verbal offer, now I need the official offer so I can start working on this. It's just how the ACX works is, I mean, you don't always need a verbal offer, because you text back and forth with the author, and they're like, hey, I like this, that, another thing. So I'm just waiting in on that official offer, so that, because once you get the official offer and you click accept, then you get all the material that you need to record, and you're able to start recording and uploading things. And then when you start recording, you have to put in a 15-minute almost like a sample, be like, hey, here's the first 15 minutes, I'm sending it out to you, author. And if they accept it, they're like, A-okay, then you can finish the book. And if they say, hey, I didn't like this, could you re-record it, here's what I want, then the author's a dick, and you're in for some trouble. And I really hope it's a short project if that happens. But my beef meal, beef, rice, 400 grams of rice, around 70 grams of guac. I did run out of beef. It's supposed to be 220 grams of beef, but I'm 80 grams short, which is not good. So I'll add a little extra protein to my protein shake with my next meal. Oh, that's my fingers. But on top of that, we are watching Quintessential Quintuplets. Yeah. And the pacing is much slower than I thought it would be, and I'm here for it. I like something where I can kind of like, okay, it's getting well paced, and oh, there's a movie. I'm gonna have to watch that once I'm done. But sorry, I didn't mean to start it, but that's where I'm at in my night. Just having this meal, and then like probably 30 minutes to an hour later, I'm gonna have my bagel and protein shake meal, and then it's time for bed, so I can get up early in the morning and do my free Uber duties, so I can get to the gym, record my video for tomorrow, which I think it's gonna be, I don't know when I want to video. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more analytics, but I think bench press is the most popular topic, and I'll have to look at what my search terms, my popular search terms are. I think it's bench press, either bench press or deadlift. So I'm gonna put together one of my instructional, educational, whatever videos. That was Buddy. Tomorrow morning, after I drop off, do my breakfast, have another meal. I've lost track of what I do on Wednesdays, but after that, do some Uber. Hopefully I get the official offer in, so I can get started by the end of the day. But anyways, I'm going to be eating.